Hi guys, welcome to Simple Programming. Let's create our first Spring Boot app. A Spring Boot application can be created in three different ways. You can use the Spring Boot initialize web interface, the Spring Boot CLI, or you can create the Spring Boot using Spring Tool Suite's IDE. In course of time, you would become so comfortable you would not even use these to create Spring Boot app. You can directly add the dependencies in pom.xml and convert it into a Spring Boot app. Alright, let's get started. I have my Spring Tool Suites IDE opened up here and I'm going to create our first Spring Boot app. Let me go to File, New. You would see an option Spring Starter Project. Click on that. Give a name for your Spring Boot. My first Spring Boot app. Okay. Give a group ID. Let's keep it simple for now. com.springboot, my Spring Boot demo. Okay, the package is com.springboot again. Next comes the starter package dependencies. You could see here there's a whole lot of starter package dependencies for almost everything that you can think of. You have starter package for Pivotal Cloud Foundry, NoSQL, AWS. There are a lot of things here. You can go ahead and research on that. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the web starter pack. Let me search for web. You could see here I'm getting the web starter pack. I'm going to add this as my dependency for the Spring Boot application. And since we are developing a web application, we are adding this Spring Boot starter web dependency. Other than this, I don't need anything else. So I'm going to click on next. The base URL where the starter project is going to get downloaded and unzipped by the Spring IDE is listed here. So you could see here. So our Spring Boot initialize web interface is the base where every project is getting zipped and downloaded. Now I'm going to click on finish. Okay, so our project is set. Let's take a quick look at pom.xml. Okay, so this is the pom.xml that was auto-generated depending upon the options that we selected. So now what do we have here? We have a parent for Spring Boot starter parent with the release of 2.0.4. And if you look at the dependencies, the dependency that we selected was web. The starter test gets appended to your POM by default when you create a Spring Boot app. Let us go to the My Spring Boot app application. So you could see here we have the class annotated as at the rate of Spring Boot application. What does it mean? This means that this is the starting point of the Spring Boot application. And in our main class, you can see here Spring application.run. It's going to run the My First Spring Boot app application as a Spring Boot application with the supplied arguments. So this is your entry point and the starting point for your Spring Boot application. Let us go and run this project. You could run this application by right clicking the main Java file and click on run as Java application or Spring Boot application. I'm going to do a Spring Boot app now. You can see in the console the Spring has started and it is loading all the dependencies, mapping all the filters, the URLs, and you could see here it has started on port 9001. Let us stop right there. We never deployed this application to Tomcat. Then how is it running on Tomcat? Did Tomcat automatically detect my Spring Boot application? No. Spring Boot automatically has embedded web servers in it. Tomcat, Jetty, all these are embedded servers now. So if you look at the definition of Spring Boot, right, you could create production grade applications with minimal configurations. This is what they meant. You could just package this application and deploy into a server, and you have your application up and running with very minimal configuration. By default, the port is 8080. I have changed the port to 9001 because I have a background job running on 8080. This can be changed in the application.properties. Application.properties is also automatically generated when you create the Spring Boot app. So the server.port are the common application properties provided by Spring Boot for us. You could just type here so you could see here I'm typing server.port and it is auto populating. This information is available in the Spring Boot application documentation. If you search for application properties Spring Boot, the first URL will give you a list of all the properties that is by default inbuilt inside the Spring Boot application, which you can use to configure different applications. Now let's jump on to the browser and try to access this URL. Let us type http localhost 9001 and see what happens. Alright, looks like the application is up and running. You could see here we have got the Spring Boot's leaf here. This application is up and running, but since the application has no explicit mapping for any URLs, you are seeing this white label error page. Let us come back to our Spring Boot application and try to create a simple controller that returns something. I'm going to call it as my first controller, and I'm going to annotate with @rest controller. Okay. So what is the difference between @controller and @rest controller? @rest controller is a convenience annotation that combines the @controller and @response body, which eliminates the need to annotate every request handling method of the controller class with @response body annotation. Let's see it in action. I'm going to add another annotation for the path. Let us call it as first. And let's create a first method, public string return value. Okay, and it's going to return hi, welcome to your first I have stopped the server and I'm going to restart the server now. There is a starter pack called DevTools, and if you add that to your pom.xml, you don't have to stop and start the server. It will automatically detect the changes in your application and restart the server. How cool is that? Okay, the server is up on 9001. Let's go and hit our application. Okay, so still there's nothing. Let's try to do first. Boom, we have got the response back from our Spring Boot application. Hi, welcome to your first Spring Boot application. So with this, we have completed creating our first Spring Boot application. In our next video, let's see the different annotations and concepts and implementations in Spring Boot application. Thank you.